Hello, my name is Positively Positive. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. Sometimes he, him, his, but currently, most times, it has been they, them, theirs. The labels I use to describe my identities are queer, transgender, non binary, asexual, aromantic, gray asexual, gray aromantic. An adjective to describe my identities, I would say a blob. I feel like I don't belong to a sexuality. The reason, because I've been asexual throughout my childhood as a sex repulsed asexual, and I've been aromantic throughout my life, such since as a child in like my adult life, like never dated or desired relationships. I also know that I'm very gray, gray as in wanting to have sex, and gray as in wanting to have relationships. Also, I'm aware of using asexuality and aromantic to describe my identities as a sex repulsed asexual as a teenager in most of my adult life, and then as an aromantic person. I started identifying as gray asexual and gray aromantic when I turned 21 years old. And when I turned 24, that's actually when I started using aromantic and asexual identities. And at the time of my age of 21 and as a teen, I mostly just used queer because I didn't know what asexuality and aromantic were at the time. However, that was my lived realities as a kid, child, and a majority of my adult life. But I know I'm very gray, and sometimes I don't feel like I'm asexual and aromantic. However, that was a part of my experience as an identity in my upbringing. So that's why I use asexual and aromantic. Um, what does being aro feel like to you? Aromantic? What does being aromantic feel like to me? Very isolating. Isolating because I feel like there's like a majority of my friends and people around me in the world are not aware about asexuality as well as aromantic identities. Both identities are extremely challenging to navigate because I feel like I'm just one of a kind. I know there's like aromantic people out there. Same with like asexual people are out there too. And I appreciate connecting with them, like either online or in person. So it's nice to like connect with my community. I also admire Black aromantics and Black asexuals because we are rare to have like people of color who are like, it's not rare to be like Black or people of color who are ace and aro, but it's just rare like being in the community of brown and Black people who are ace as well as aromantic. What does pride mean to me? It's confusing. Sometimes pride is really hard because of like the erasure of asexual people and aromantic people, as well as the erasure of demisexual people, and the erasure of like transgender issues. So I'm not really prideful when pride happens. It's really depressing. I went to Trans Pride once. It was fun, like being around like my community, but it's also really hard because there's a lot of police presence, and police has a long history of terrorizing the community. So that's why I don't really be at Trans Pride because there's a huge police presence, and plus there's like a lot of cisgender people, and cisgender people, I appreciate some of their allyship, but like y'all just take up way too much space, and it's just triggering for trans people, non-binary people to be in those spaces. What gives you pride? What makes you feel pride? I don't know. What's your favorite part about being aromantic? I don't know if I have a favorite part. I'm just being, just be. It's challenging being asexual. It's also challenging being aromantic. So I don't know if it's a favorite part. I guess because I think too deeply. I think that's how I feel. What's something about being aromantic that you want? What is something about being aromantic that you would want to share or teach others? Well, I wrote a poem about what I want people to know about the aromantic experience and asexual experience. This is I want this is I want I wrote a poem about the aromantic and asexual experience, and this is what I want people to know. Most times I'm not gay enough, queer enough, because I don't date or love enough. Never had love, never wanted love, never been in a relationship. People say I'm Mars like a spaceship alien because I never wanted love, been in love, got teased, harassed, and groped, ridiculed like a joke. My high school, college, middle school friends and family be all up in my business, trying to hook me up with someone fly, asking me if I'm dating this guy. Your questions are pervasive, gawking me, teasing me, as if being wanted for my body lust, adored and mourned to desire consume me. No air left for me to breathe in, gasping for my air, reaching for my queer. I'm never fitting in with these romantic queers. They say to be human, straight, queer, and gay is to follow these 7 rites of passage. Love, come out, have sex, get married, have kids, engage, 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 romance, romance, romance. People gossip, chatter constantly on and on and on and on about lovers, relationship partners, hookups. They never ever pause the conversation to focus on their friend who is lonely and silent, content and complacent. These conversations are deadly. Where do people turn to when no one is listening? This world is built for romance because people struggle hella hard just to build community, reaching for my friends, reaching for community, reaching for my family. I'm constantly reaching, no one's there. I know people are busy. Why is it so hard to have a friendship show up in the city? I told my therapist what is one thing I want my friendships to know. I want to feel a priority, be a part of someone's day, say, hey, I just want to kick it. Watch movies, or write poetry through a text message. Tell me about your day. These necessities feels it's granted only to the romance because people struggle hella hard just to build community, reaching for my friends, reaching for my family, reaching for community. I'm constantly reaching, no one's there. I know people are busy. Why is it so hard to have a friendship show up in the city? This phenomenon is sad, tossing people like salad when I know platonic, intimate friendships, community organizing, healing ciphers saved me. My life from misery gave me my first true love, rhythm, and poetry. My survival arc mocked when I tell people I don't date or love enough, never had love, never wanted love, never been in a relationship. People say I'm Mars like a spaceship alien because I never want to love, been in love, no air left for me to breathe in. Gasping for my air, reaching for my queer. I'm never fitting in with these romantic queers. I don't date, I don't love, I'm still queer. I'm still ace when I'm gray and horny for gay sex. I'm still aro when I want a relationship. I'm still accountable not to pimp an identity that isn't mine. Most times I'm not gay enough, queer enough because I don't date or love enough. Never had love, never wanted love, never been in a relationship. People say I'm Mars like a spaceship alien because I never wanted love, been in love. Please follow me on my Facebook page, Positively Positive Education Productions, website positive2bepositive.net. I also have an Instagram and a YouTube presence. Like, follow, subscribe if you want to learn more about HIV positive identities, my Black identity, and being an asexual and aromantic person who is very gray. And I talk about all of those identities and more. Thank you so much for listening to my Thank you so much for listening to my interview. Have a good day.